By the end of this video, you will walk out with a clear-cut idea between the main differences between the past simple and the present perfect. Hi, this is Sassy Teaching and I'm here to help you with your English. So as I mentioned earlier, I am going to draw the main differences between the past simple and the present perfect. So the main difference I am going to discuss are about the uses and the semantic differences between each of them. Are you ready? Let's get started. So let's start with the past simple. As the name suggests, the past simple is used for past events that occurred in the past and are no longer related to the present. Basically, there are 4 uses of the past simple. So the first use is when you talk about a past event with a definite time tag. That is to say, the time is already known. Consider this example. Simon Cook painted his first picture in 1980. We have a time tag here. We already know when he first started painting. That is to say, 1980. We can also use the past simple for an action that started in the past and finished in the past. Consider this example. Mr. Clark taught maths for 30 years. Is he still a teacher? No. The action ended in the past. So we use the past simple. The third use is about actions that happened in the past but can no longer be repeated. Consider this example. Mike won more than 20 medals when he was an athlete. Is he still an athlete? No. So this action of winning medals is no longer possible. So we use the past simple. The fourth use is about a finished action in a specific period of time that is over at the moment of speaking. For example, I wrote 3 letters this morning. In this context, we have a time tag. This morning. This morning is over. That is to say, the person who is speaking might be in the afternoon or later in the evening. So the morning is over. This specific period of time is over. In this case, we use the past simple. Remember that we use the past simple to talk about actions performed by people who are no longer alive. For example, authors. For example, Mark Twain wrote The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Right, let's move to the present perfect now. The present perfect is a tense that is used for actions that started in the past, but they are still relevant up to the present. So let's see the 4 different uses of the present perfect. We can use the present perfect to talk about actions which happened in an unknown period of time in the past. This could be either, as I told you, unknown or not specified or unimportant, because in this case, the action is more important than the time in which the action occurred. For example, Simon Cook has painted many pictures. In this sentence, the action of painting pictures is more important than knowing when the action actually occurred. The second use of the present perfect could be about action that started in the past, but they are still relevant up to the present, just like this example. Mrs. Nelson has taught French for 20 years. That is to say, she started teaching French 20 years ago, but she hasn't stopped yet. She's still teaching French. The third use of the present perfect could be about an action that may be repeated up to the present. Here is an illustration. Here is an example. Ben is an athlete. He has won more than 10 medals. As he is still an athlete, he may win other medals in the future. And that is why we use the present perfect in this sense. So the last use of the present perfect could be about an action that started in a specific period of time in the past, but this specific period of time is not yet finished. It's not yet over. For example, I have written 2 letters this morning. The time tag this morning, this specific period of time, is not yet over. It could be 10, 11, 11:30 a.m., which means that in this case, we have to use the present perfect. Right. Now, let's compare and contrast between sentences that are used in the past simple and sentences that are used in the present perfect. So the first example is, have you been busy this morning? This means that it is still the morning now at the moment of speaking. But if you compare it with this, were you busy this morning? This implies that the speaker is talking in the afternoon, sometime past the morning, in the afternoon or in the evening. So here's the second example. He's been in the army for 15 years. This means that he has started working for the army 15 years ago and he is still working there. He hasn't stopped working for the army. But if you compare it with the second example, he was in the army for 15 years, which means that he had started working for the army sometime in the past, and this activity, this job, lasted for 15 years in the past. It's no longer relevant in the present, now, at the moment of speaking. Right, now that we know the differences between the past simple and the present perfect, let's move to some practice. I am going to show you some slides containing conversations. What you have to do is to pause and consider the answer. What you have to do is to use either the past tense or the present perfect. It all depends on the context, of course. Are you ready? Write your answers in the comment section. I will give you your feedback there. I will not be giving you the right answers in the video. I've seen this film before. Me too. But I love this actor. He, the verb to play, a lot of good roles. Tom Cruise? I meet him, Really? When? When I be in Los Angeles on holiday. You can pause the video and think of your answers, and then you drop the comments containing your answer. Who is that man? He's an artist. He paint a lot of beautiful pictures. I think Van Gogh paint the most beautiful pictures ever, but his life be miserable. I just hear from an old friend of mine. Oh, really? Yes, Jim, write to me. I got the letter this morning. That's nice. When you first meet him? He lived next door to me for 3 years, but he moved away last June and I not see him since then. Right, that's the end of the lesson. I hope it was useful. I can't see you for the next lesson dealing with tenses as usual. In fact, my student requested a series of videos dealing with tenses exclusively, and that is why I will be sharing videos about tenses in the future. Bye-bye!